So I'm so excited. First of all, let me just tell you. So when I first met you was in the weight room. Okay, like I got to kind of know you and talk to you, and what impressed me really was your work ethic.
Yeah.
Like you were getting it done. Like you still get it done. Not you were. You still get it done. I still see you in the weight room, and I just loved it about you. That just told me a lot of how you value that. I'm sure you're cum laude, right? You were.
Yeah, I got cum laude. Yeah.
Yes. So again, it makes sense, right? It makes sense what you do in the weight room and what you do
Yeah.
in school. So, how long were you at St. Margaret's?
So I went from my freshman year to senior year. So I was only there for 4 years, but
Okay.
still, it's such a small community. It feels like family.
Sure. Sure. How was that experience?
I mean, I think it says a lot that I went to Amherst from St. Margaret's because it's
Okay.
such a small school and like
Okay.
there's just such a small community. So everyone always asks me like, why did you go to a school with 2,000 people? And I was like,
Yeah.
well, I went to St. Margaret's, I like had such a formative experience with such a small community and like
Sure.
going to Convo really felt like sitting among family and friends.
Yes. Yes.
So
Exactly.
I have nothing but good things to say about St. Margaret's.
What are some of your most fondest memories about St. Margaret's?
Every single time we played Sage was probably
Okay.
like just such an exciting day. Like driving to school, I could feel my adrenaline just really pumping up. But my senior year, we told like all the younger players that we had to come in early to watch film. So everybody walked in groggy at like 7 in the morning. Like,
Yeah.
why did the seniors drag us in? And then we surprised everyone with breakfast. So it was just like a good way to start off game day.
That's awesome.
But
Now you play volleyball, correct?
yes, I play at
Okay.
Amherst currently.
Okay. Awesome. And what position you play in volleyball?
I'm a DS, defensive specialist.
Okay. Which
So yeah,
means for
I'm
us who don't know very much about what does that mean?
I'm all back row. I'm not
Okay.
tall. I'm not vertically gifted at all. So they just stick me in the back.
Good for you. What have you seen as far as what you learned at St. Margaret's volleyball and then at your college? Is there a big difference? Were you prepared? What do you think about that?
I mean, Joaquin, like totally prepared me as a
Yes,
college volleyball
that's
player. Like
awesome.
every single time I stepped in that gym, I knew I was just gonna work for two
Good,
hours and
good for
like
you.
he'd really push me to the limits. So he like preps players to play in college, and I really found that totally translates over to my experience. And just working with Dan for like 3 years in high
Yes,
school, I came into
yes,
college already knowing how to do all the basic lifts and just ready to really work for all my strength coaches. So
that's awesome.
St. Marcus totally prepared me for
That's
being a college
awesome. That's
athlete.
awesome. Like I said, I was blown away. I was like, damn, who is that over there? I said, she be getting it in, man. She don't play around. So listen, you will forever be in my memory of that because I remember like she could be on my team right now. I'll play with
You
her right
flatter
now.
me, coach. You really
No,
flatter
no, it's
me.
so true. It's so true, so true. So listen, the elephant in the room, right? COVID-19
Yeah.
pandemic. Now when were you guys out of school? When did you guys kind of get out?
We were actually, Amherst was the first school in the country to just totally close up for the semester and say
Wow.
everybody's going remote. So I don't remember the day I got that email, but I remember exactly where I was. I was in my neuro lab, literally holding a brain because I had an exam the next day. And then
Okay.
that whole week I was swamped with midterms. And then everybody in the room just like shocked. Goes, check your email right now. And I walked out of the science center and it was like World War III had hit. People were on the phone screaming and like people were crying. But looking back on it, it was definitely the right move.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad we got out early and I'm glad that I packed up all my belongings. But it's definitely a weird learning situation for sure.
Oh, I definitely bet. No, I can't overlook this. You said you're holding a brain. What kind of brain were you holding?
It was a sheep brain. It was a sheep
Okay.
brain. Fits in the palm of my hand. So
All you. Now, wait. That reminds me. I'm gonna take you back right now. I think you know where I'm going.
yeah.
You were in surgery at one point, did you not? And did you not? Please share that story,
Oh, we're
please.
going to this. So for my senior ISP, I was
Okay.
so lucky. I got to shadow at South Orange County Orthopedic Center. So I shadowed two different surgeons there. One was a hand surgeon and one was a knee and hip replacement surgeon.
Okay.
And my first day, I show up. I'm so excited. Barely slept the night before. I didn't have time to eat breakfast. I was running out the door. So this day I was like shadowing in the clinic. And the clinic does a lot of cortisol shots in order to, relieve pain on joints and stuff for their patients. So I was shadowing and we walked into the room and we gave this one man a cortisol shot and they're very painful. So everyone that we saw, they were just like in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Locked my knees and just passed out. My vision started going blurry, and I was like, oh man, I hope I'm not getting sick. I have an APUSH exam tomorrow. Like, I got to show up for this AP exam. And then the patient left, thank God. And I go, Dr. Elzick, I think I might be passing out. So I passed out in front of him, and then the other surgeon that I shadowed walked in. He's like, you better not do this at any of my surgeries. So I walk into the OR the first day, and they're like, are you okay? Do you want to sit down? And I was like, for the next 3 weeks, I'm just living with this over my head.
Oh my God, that's crazy. And so you want to be a
orthopedic surgeon.
That's awesome.
So at first, before I went in, I was all stoked on Grey's Anatomy, thought I'd be a heart surgeon or something, but I went into that clinic and came out of it, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to work on bones for the rest of my life.
We'll just hope that you stay upright during the surgery.
Yeah, I've heard from a lot of people that like med students have kind of one and done. So I'm hoping, I just got my one and done out of it.
You're good to go. You're good to go.
We won't tell anybody about that later on in med school.
Oh my God, that's awesome. So what do you, when you were not at school, when you were not doing volleyball, what were you like in high school? What were you enjoy doing?
It's tough to say. I spent a lot of my time doing volleyball and school, but
Okay.
I was pretty like young and naive, I guess I would say, looking back on everything. Like, I really enjoyed my time at St. Margaret's, and I really just looked through everything with kind of like rose-colored lenses. Spent a lot of time with my friends, spent a lot of time at the beach. And I grew up in Switzerland, actually, which I think I've mentioned too.
Yes.
So I did a lot of traveling. I was really, really fortunate to have parents who, took me all around the world. I would go home to Switzerland like every break in high school just to go back and visit my friends. But yeah, definitely just looking forward to like gaining new experiences about the world. That's how I really saw things back then. And not that much has changed, but definitely matured a little bit, I would say, in college.
No, and I love that. Good for you. And I will bring us home to a landing pretty soon here.
Yeah.
So 2 questions. You're biracial, correct?
Yes, I am.
Tell me about that, because I have kids who are biracial, and give me your experience on that, please.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty lucky. Like, I'm pretty lucky, at least here in Orange County. Like, there's a huge Asian community, and obviously, like, the Orange County bubble is pretty much all white. So I'm pretty fortunate in that,
Sure.
I've been pretty, like, easily facilitated in both racial groups that I'm in. But I talk a lot, my friends at college, like, obviously Amherst is a lot more diverse than St. Margaret's was.
Sure.
So I talk a lot about race to my friends in college, and I've talked a lot about my experience because it's easy for me. I really am able to pass as white. Most people don't even assume that I'm Chinese. But sometimes I tell this story all the time. Whenever I go to Chinese restaurants, the servers don't assume that I'm Chinese, obviously. I barely look it. So they always give me a fork, and my mom will try to speak to me in Chinese and like get me to order dishes in Chinese so that, the waiters know that I'm one of them. But they just hand me the fork. And as soon as we head out, my mom will like say something to me in Chinese, and they'll be like, wow, you speak Chinese? And I'm like, I'm half. They're like, no. I'm like, no, I am. And it's so funny. So like a lot of times I'll go with my whole family, which is like, it's 20 Chinese people, and we're all sitting at the table. We're all speaking Chinese. We're ordering dishes in Chinese. And so they'll ask me like, oh, you speak Chinese? And I'm like, I'm with a group of 20 Chinese people. Like, did you think that they just saw me on the street? They're like, are you hungry? Let's go eat. So,
great story.
But I definitely love like being both Chinese and Italian. Like, it's really nice to just be raised with 2 cultures in the house. Like, that's just something I'm so grateful to have. But yeah.
All right. Last question. So you're in college. This is your second year now, right?
Yes. I just finished my second year. I just had finals last week.
Congratulations. So we have some amazing St. Margaret seniors who are graduating, and they've gone through the whole pandemic, and it's been rough.
Oh my gosh. I keep checking all the schools that they're going to, and I kid you not, all of my friends are like, I can't believe the graduating class is like so talented. They're all going to such amazing schools. Like, we've been talking about it.
What is one word or one phrase from your experience already, from going to St. Margaret's, 2 years in college, that you want to give to the seniors?
Just work. I was taught to work really hard at St. Margaret's in everything I did, from Dan, from Joaquin, from my teachers, and it translated so much into college. Like, the one thing that describes me is work ethic. I'm not naturally athletic, and I'm not naturally smart, but I work my tail off. And that really just shows the difference in college. Like, even at a big school, talk to your professors, go to office hours, and I promise it makes like so much of a difference. If you're on between an A and an A minus, like that professor's going to know you, and that professor's going to know how hard you work. In everything, in sports too, like just really working hard, like makes so much of a difference from people who mentor you and people who value you. So
awesome.
Yeah.
You are terrific. I've been a huge fan of yours from day one. You know that. And
it was such a pleasure to talk to you, Coach.
No, it's my pleasure. I see in the weight room. I just light up because I know like if no one else works hard in the weight room, she will work hard.
We're working today. We're working.
Listen, I hope to see you before you go.
Yes, absolutely.
If I don't for reason, God bless you. You're amazing. Keep being exceptional. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day and weekend. Tell your family I said hello.
Yes, give the best to your family from me.
I will. And we appreciate you being an alum. You were fantastic. All right.
You flatter me too much, Coach.
Thank you, Michaela. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Bye.